Hello.
Hello.
What's up, Don? How's it going?
Oh man, pretty good. Hard day at work. Dealing with some really complex bugs. Trying to, you know, write some code to catch them next time.
Nice. Nice. That's what we live for,
Stuff
right?
like that. Yeah, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about Chaos
Ah,
Camp?
my what?
Can you tell us a little bit about Chaos Camp?
Oh yeah, Chaos Camp I developed because I found that tutorials are a little too vanilla, and when someone gets into the real world, it's never vanilla. It's always a bit of chaos. So I decided to create a series of challenges that would sort of showcase this and get people prepared to deal with these sorts of issues. It could be a straightforward challenge of dealing with the web UI or getting a body of work that is entirely unknown and sort of challenge the person to sort of expose them to different ways of research and finding tools and things of that nature. Just like I call it cognitive cash, and the more you exercise, the more you practice, the more you'll be prepared for unknowns. So that's why I initially created Chaos Camp, and what I hope is people who have experienced chaos can also sort of contribute to this repository and sort of add challenges themselves. Just I want it to grow and want a place for QA, DevOps, engineering. Yeah, that's why I
Awesome.
started it, and I really appreciate you, shouting me out and also participating in a lot of them. It's what I found in this experiment is watching you go through these challenges is in, invaluable to me. Like if I was a hiring manager, I would know automatically know how you think, how you deal with problems, and how you sort of solve them. And it's what it told me is I'm in the right direction with this. And hopes one day maybe hiring managers use some of these challenges to sort of identify talent. So
Yeah, I think that would be great because like just seeing how a candidate would think it's similar like how when they're hiring for like software engineers they'll have them like whiteboard and stuff like
hmm
that. This is like a good way to
yeah,
I see a good way to do this for QA, right? How are your thinking skills? How are your problem solving skills?
right. Sometimes they'll hand you a QA, a generic algorithms question, and it's like my day to day has nothing to do with this.
Hmm.
These challenges have everything to do with your job, and especially in QA automation. So yeah.
Yeah, I was so earlier in the show, right? I was talking about someone was asking like what should they put in their GitHub because some of the things that they do in like the course that they're learning to do more automation, it seems too simple. So I said, well, you still want to push those up to GitHub, but you could probably put them private. But what you really want to
hmm
work on is like the challenges from Chaos Camp, right? Because those really push you to the limit. So I sent them the two links, right? One for the web UI and one for the MP3 challenge. And they said like, oh, I think this was a little bit over my head. I'm like, no, it's not over your head. It's just because it's new to you that you're a little
Right.
apprehensive about it, right? But if you try it and you take the first step, like I've spoken to you before, and I can see how you think. Take the first step and just try it and
Right.
fail forward.
And another thing they have to take into consideration, their day to days are going to be simple. They're going to get tickets every sprint that sort of yield the same profile of complexity and unknowns. So you're always going to be challenged with this, but the more you sort of expose yourself to these weird edge case unknowns that are, you go, oh, I totally know how to research this, or I totally have a process of researching this.
Hmm.
And so Yeah, and as far as what they put on their GitHub, Chaos Camp would be great if that started getting forked over and showcased. But I say everything you've ever done in GitHub, if it's simple, that's fine. You know what? I like simple code. Simple code means I can contribute to it that day. If it's over engineered and abstracted, I may not like that, and I may say, "Oh, this is too much," So, my GitHub is ridiculous. It has over 300 repos
It does,
since
yeah.
I've been on, and it's some really good code and some really awful code, right? But I've solved some really interesting things, and I've come up with some interesting techniques, experimenting, and just and then having a place where I can leave those experiments and look back at them later.
And I was like Don sent me he was he was working like trying out sampling out some video streaming testing, right? And he sent it to me. And here's the thing that's great about like this community. And I was able to say, oh, yeah, like this is like very similar to something that I worked on. But take a look at this. Take a look at this library, right? Where it'll
Right.
simplify part of the work that you're doing here because it's made to parse through this, right? So that way, like we're able to collaborate and share ideas and share things that we've done because um like I think I met Don like maybe a month ago, right?
Yeah.
And like we've worked like we've shared so much information back and forth like that helps me think of things in a different way, exposes him to different libraries that I've worked on, and so it's that's part like that's part of the amazing thing about this about Chaos Camp about like this channel, whatever Don and I are going to be building in the future. It's just so much collaboration that's available.
Yeah, it's a beautiful part of GitHub and open source is sharing ideas. And like that was extremely valuable. I was like, wow, I could like cut this code in half by using that technique, you
Hmm.
know. So that also too, like I hope Chaos Camp becomes a community where people share those sorts of ideas, and maybe a forum could come out of that or a Slack channel. Be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm always strategizing. So I'm still thinking about different ways to make it stand out.
I mean, uh, the Ralph load tester came out of all of this,
That is true. That is
and
true.
yeah.
Hold on one second. All right, Don. Before I let you go, anything else you want to share with everyone?
No, man, keep up the good fight. I love your channel. I watch every day. We collab almost every day, right? Like we're experimenting with stuff all the time and sort of talking about different ways of testing, and mutation testing is something I'm working on, and I'm going to come up with a maybe a challenge for that. And that's an intriguing look into testing the tester's code. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
look
still
forward to that.
I'm still putting together my challenge. Like my challenges are a little bit more they're a little bit more comprehensive. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
was talking about the challenge I had Stephanie work on, which
Yeah.
is like a full end to end like setting up your own infrastructure, writing your tests, having it
Mm,
run through the CI/CD pipeline, which I can write that
right.
up and contribute it there, but it'll just be like here's what you got to go and do, right? And then push your code up,
Right.
explain what you did, all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Without those skills, without knowing those skills, you could walk into a company and when you don't know source control and CI/CD, you can really get in trouble for doing the wrong thing. So it's good that you're going through those exercises with her.
Yeah, and like the tech barbarians, right? I have them like most of them are new to the whole agile Jira, so I have them going through the agile process, having sprint, setting up like using Jira, having stories, pointing, all that stuff, right? Because my goal is to get them as job ready as possible. And that way, like
Mhm.
they're working and they're freelancers now.
Yeah. The next simulation to that would be having a breaking bug in production, and then having some fake PM and CEO yelling in the room. That would be the next phase. Phase 2 of the getting used to that.
All right. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. All right, Don, I'm
Yeah.
gonna let you go. I'm gonna try to wrap up the show in a few.
All
So
right.
thank you for
All right,
calling,
man.
and
Good
I'll
talking
talk
with
to
you.
you later.
All right. Bye.
So that was Don who called in. Don is awesome. Like, I've learned a lot from him, and he has helped me. He's helped me, like, even just in the short amount of time that I know him, think better, approach things differently. Like at work the other day, right? We were just having like the team that I work on. We were just hanging around, and I was like, oh, like, something that I saw him do led me to asking a question to see, oh, if we can enhance our testing our testing capabilities a little bit further. But it was but we didn't need to because we already like validate the stuff at an earlier level. But like what I saw him do, it triggered me to ask the question to see like, hey, can we push it further? So shout out to Don. I am happy that you guys got to hear from Don, because the work that he's doing is totally remarkable, right?
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.
Enigmatic Joker.